Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video today to tell you what's going on. A lot of things, a lot of things. So first of all, just a check-in with my health. My blood pressure today was like it was I think 97 over 60 something, which is very low. And here's the thing, so I'm on blood pressure medication because I typically have extremely high blood pressure. But with losing weight and doing keto, my blood pressure has gone down. So and I had gone to the doctor on Friday to check it because I was having dizzy spells. And well, you guys know that if you've watched the other videos. So she ran a few tests, and what she noticed was, and she did my blood pressure lying down, sitting down, and standing up. And what she noticed is that when I stood up, my blood pressure dropped dramatically to like 10. It was at that point it was like it dropped to 108 or something. I don't remember. So she figured that might be why I'm getting dizzy when I stand up. But here's the thing: every time I go to the doctor, they get a much higher reading on my, for my blood pressure than I get it on the meter at home. And I don't know if the blood pressure monitor I have at home is accurate or not, but occasionally, a few times when I was at the doctor, they did get a reading that coincided with the monitor at home. So I think one time they got 108 over something else, which again it's low for me. But so when I went to the doctor the other day, I was already stressed, right? As soon as I walked out, I had these guys following me, okay, flashing their cameras at me. So I knew they were following me, and that's going to stress me out. So also too, people kept making comments to me about hand lotion. Why? Because recently I've been using an excessive amount of hand lotion in the apartment. And I don't do that outside. I don't, lotion my hands up outside. But in the apartment I have, because it's winter and my skin gets dry, and it's been particularly dry lately. And it could be, I thought to myself, could it be dehydration too? Well, ever since then, I've had people come up to me and start up conversations regarding dehydration, excess use of hand lotion, and the whole 9 yards, right? So again, they're showing me that they can see what I'm doing in the apartment. That's the whole purpose of it. It's not, the hand lotion is not the point. The point is that they're sending, they're showing me, they're relaying to me that they can see me in the apartment. So that's the point. Um, so that was going on, and then I get to the doctor, and I was already stressed out before I got there, and so I go into, the assistant was nice. Okay, she was really nice. She took me to the room, and then those monitor for the blood pressure monitors, they have those monitors that they're automatic. So they press a button and then they go by themselves. Okay. Well, when I went into the room, something was beeping. It was like nah, nah, nah. Okay, I promise I won't do that again. All right. So something was beeping like that, and it was the monitor, and I guess the batteries were wearing out. So the woman was like, "Hurry, hurry, hurry!" Because I was wearing a button-down shirt. So she's like, "Hurry, hurry, hurry!" before the batteries run out. So then I got even more stressed. Okay, and so by the time they actually took my blood pressure, it was high. Okay, high enough to warrant being on the dose of the medication that I'm on. When in reality, when I can calm down and when I'm not stressed like that, it drops very low. Um, so what's happening is, the perpetrators are trying to create a situation where when I go to the doctor, they're not going to get an accurate reading. So they're going to keep me on, a massively high dose of medication that is ending up, it's going to cause me problems when I'm, the few moments when I am relaxed and calm and not as stressed, and my blood pressure just crashes. It gets very low. Um, so for example, in the morning, I took my blood pressure and it was, what did I say, 96, 97 over 60 something, right? That was when I woke up in the morning. Yeah, that's not normal for me ever. And I think, for some people, they have normally low blood pressure. For me, it's not. High blood pressure runs in our family. So, and I'm thinking about maybe, and I have another doctor's appointment too, because she wants to keep an eye on this because, we're thinking, well, should I, should we lower the dose? Should we not? I don't know. Either way, the perpetrators are trying to create a very dangerous situation where, even when I go for medical help, I'm not going to get an accurate, the doctors aren't going to have an accurate impression of what's going on because the readings show something very different. Okay, the perpetrators are trying to create the maximum amount of stress before I get to the doctor, and then so that by the time I get there, the readings are going to be astronomically high, whereas that's not going to be normal for me. So they're and obviously staying on, you don't want your blood pressure to go too low either. Staying on medication that's making, that's dropping your blood pressure extremely low is also dangerous. So the perpetrators are creating an extremely dangerous situation. Um, it's crazy, you know, and I have to say this, because I'm still not going to pretend to know who's doing it. I've, over the, in the past, I thought I knew. At first I thought it was those two people who I got into an argument with online. When it became clear they couldn't be doing this alone, I thought, well, maybe they got their social networking buddies involved. Could it be white supremacists? I don't know. But I ignored the fact that a lot of the perpetrators had Russian accents. I ignored the fact that a lot of them also looked Ukrainian, and I don't know if they're pro-Russian Ukrainian. I don't know, but now it looks like this is Russia, and that could be completely false. Okay, because when it comes to an attack like this, it's one lie after another, after another, after another, one misdirection after another, after another, after another. So just when you think you know who's doing it, there's another variable. It's one of those, and that throws everything else off. It's like an algebraic equation with variables, right? If you leave out even one variable, you're going to come to a false solution. Okay. Well, now we've got, hidden variables that automatically pop out or so you can never really know. But I will say this, either Russia is behind this or someone wants to make it look like Russia is behind this. And I'm very well aware that our own government has done this to people. I know that in the past, our government has tried to accuse American citizens of being Russian spies and put a lot on Russia. So I don't know if this is really Russia doing this or if it's our own government trying to make it look that way. And, I don't want to come to false conclusions because I want to find out who's actually behind this. Okay, but I can tell you this. Whoever's doing this, they want the targets to go screaming mad, okay, violently. They're trying to create monsters, is what they're doing. The attacks are psychological, physical, emotional, spiritual, on every level, but also biological, okay? Instinct. They use instinct. For example, fight or flight. When being constantly attacked, it is instinctive for people to either fight, to stand and fight, or to flee, but targets can't do either, right? We can't fight a massive group that has powers, numbers, and resources that we don't have, but we can't flee either because they follow us. So it puts us in the line of fire where we just have to kind of stand there and take it until we start lashing out at the air, just to lash out at something. And that's what they want. Okay? But worse than that, it's humans have a natural aversion to infestation, okay? To being infested, to swarmed, okay? That's a survival mechanism. That's how we evolved. So what they're doing is they're trying to create the most uncomfortable, ugly, horrible, tear out your own flesh sensation in their targets. So they will swarm you, okay? They'll have people pound on the walls and then on the ceilings and then all around you. Okay, then they'll have someone, right when that stops, come and slam on your door and then run off. Okay, that's what they do. Okay, so you're surrounded, you're swarmed. They do this all night long. So for example, all night last night, thumping, thumping, thumping. But quietly, a little thump. Can you hear that? All night long. And sometimes it would sound like they were dropping something metal on the floor and it like a little metal ball and it bounced a little bit. I guess metal can't bounce, but that's what it sounded like. And then it trickled off. Then they started moving things along the floor. Now here's something I know for a fact. Every apartment in this building has carpet. The fact that they don't upstairs is abnormal. It is because it's not, all of the apartments here have carpet. So they're doing something differently upstairs and they're doing it on purpose. Sometimes it's scratching, in the middle of the night. Sometimes I'll wake up to on the ceiling above us, okay, their floor. So last night, I got up and I tried to, I can't use my cell phone because it's so subtle. Can you hear that? It's very subtle. It's not going to be enough on my cell phone. So I took out my little recorder. I have, it's a better audio recorder. And as soon as I did that, they stopped. And then I got really pissed. I mean, I was getting ready to go up there with a baseball bat. The sensation is just being swarmed. It's by vermin. Okay, they pound on the walls, they tap on the ceiling, they thump, they follow you around, they swarm you. At the store today, they had people in line, and one of the women was laughing. She was laughing as she did it. She was thumping on the not the conveyor belt for the groceries, but just under it. And then she looked at someone behind me who started to do the same thing. So everywhere I go, it's like, imagine you have an infestation of roaches and you leave your home, and you shake off your feet and you shake off your jacket and you shake out your hair. And then, you're walking, and then all of a sudden you see a roach crawling on your shoulder and you panic and you start flailing around and swatting at it and slapping at it, right? That's the sensation they're trying to create. And they're trying to project this onto Russians in general. Now, I would think it would be stupid. I'm sorry I had to restart the video. Nobody gives a damn about the perpetrators, right? The targets are meant to view them as vermin, swarms of vermin. That's the whole point. But not even the people running the sick program, not even the psychopaths running this program care about the people they hire, the lackeys, okay? If a lackey gets killed, the lackey gets killed. He or she will be replaced. It's like roaches. There are thousands and thousands and millions more waiting to take his place, okay? That's how they're viewed by the organizers, right? But the target, this is about the targets. It's not about the perpetrators, unless it's also a social experiment to see how easy it is to get the masses to just gather in a massive attack on some lone target they don't know. And I think some people don't even realize they're waging a war, right? They don't even realize what they're doing. Some might even think this is some stupid game. Anyway, where was I? Okay. What happens to the target then? He gets carted off to prison, shot dead by a cop, right? Institutionalized, and then he or she is discredited that way. Okay? So, the people running this, they want the target to resort to violence. They want the target to resort to violence. And that's the worst thing a target can do. Then they're just giving the organizers behind this what they want. Okay? But when that is directed at a specific group of people, let's just say, if Russians are doing this, they would have to be crazy, wouldn't they? To literally train assassins to kill their own people, right? That would be insane. Why would they do that? Because right now it's like they're rubbing it in our face. Right? Two people, and this happened a while ago, but it happens quite often where, I remember these two Russian guys, and they came by me as I was crossing the street, and they kind of flitted in and out by me, like it was meant to give the sensation of rats. Okay? Like rats swarming around your feet. You know how you just start jumping around and swatting and kicking, and, that ugly swarmed infested sensation flitting around me. Okay, they were laughing at each other, laughing and smiling and, mouths open, flitting around me. And as I walked, they walked with me, flitting around. Imagine someone, if I'm trying to find something to compare this to. If any of you play video games, imagine one of your characters, and there's a swarm, okay? And the swarm is just following them wherever they go. And your character is running around and the swarm is like swarming their head, okay? I don't know how else to explain this. And of course, they were Russian. The accents were Russian, or they were faking it. I don't know. But how crazy would that be? Are they just throwing it in our face that yes, they're here and there's nothing we can do about it? Have they already, taken over to the extent that there's nothing we can do about it? Would they be so foolish to think that the targets are never going to put two and two together, pick up on their accents and figure out who's doing this? Are they that stupid or just that foolish? Or maybe it's just that, they know they have their targets isolated and outnumbered and unable to do anything. So they think that, they want the targets to snap, but they just think that when that happens, it'll be against innocent people because the targets can't get at the real source. So the targets just go mad, like the mass shooters and kill innocent people. And that whoever's doing this, that's what they want. If you look at some of those mass shooters, they said that people were following them. They said that people were making comments and gestures and could see them in their own home. And the media, for a lot of them, the media tried to cover it up. Why? Because if those words came out, Many of the perpetrators, these lackeys who are going along with this, might actually recognize what they were doing, even if they weren't involved with that particular person. They might stop and think, have we been involved in this? Hey, that looks kind of like what my friend was asked to do. So they might start getting the idea that they were involved in helping to create that something else is going on. This is why the media tries to hide that. But on one occasion, the media could not hide it, right, with Myron May, because he put a video out there talking about what was happening to him, and that was already out there. So the media couldn't hide it. So instead, they reframed it as mental illness. That's the go-to excuse now, mental illness. And in the meantime, the attacks continue, and more people are driven to, insanity, just screaming madness, and some to violence. And I would tell all targets right now, and most targets don't commit acts of violence towards others. They go mad and they get institutionalized, or they commit suicide or something like that, which is horrible, all of it. But they're not particularly violent towards others. They have enough self-control and restraint, no matter how bad the provocations are. And the provocations are bad because what the organizers want is public violence, and on a massive scale. What I would tell everyone, whether you're being followed, whether people are making comments to you, making gestures, we already know the nose tap gestures and all of those things. This is not just about you. They're doing this to a lot of us, okay? And what they want is violence. Not necessarily all the people doing it. Some of these lackeys don't even know what they're doing. They're getting paid to do stupid shit. Okay, some of them probably think this is a joke or some stupid game. Okay, but the organizers behind this want violence, and it's not just happening to you. Now, this is happening to a lot of us. Never give them what they want. Okay, never kill. Okay, first of all, because again, you give them what they want. Second of all, because you kill, you destroy yourself too. Okay, you can't kill and not also destroy yourself on a soul level. There's nothing more evil than killing. Don't do it. You're not alone. There are a lot of us out there, suffering with you. Even though we're separated, even though we can't, we have a hard time contacting each other because there are perpetrators pretending to be targets, even though we never know who we can trust, understand there are a lot of targets out there. Okay, we know what you're going through. We're going through the same thing. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to end this video here. I know this is the second video because I had to stop the other one due to unforeseen distractions, of course. It never fails, Peace.